And just like that, I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Lovely to see you all. I'm going to be looking back and forth between my two screens here. But wait for everybody to get in here. Let's turn the music back on. Do that. And I'm going to turn my sound down a bit. And then say hello to everybody. Hi and hello. Greetings. Lovely to see everybody. Hello. All right, let's take a look here. A couple of things I want to swap out. We're going to leave the check-in link on for just a little bit longer, but I'm going to go ahead and pop it on so that it scrolls down on the bottom so we're not taking up valuable real estate. For those of you, hello and hi and greetings and hello. Lovely. Nice to see a big crowd here. To start off, my first Global Hack Week in what feels like a hot second. I think I haven't streamed since February, question mark, maybe March. I don't remember. We got a first question in the chat. Howdy, curious if others have discovered any new to them open source projects. I know when I was researching ideas for what I wanted to do here this week, I ran into a couple that I hadn't heard of before, like working on, different tools and platforms and educational resources that I thought were really fun and cool. I will see if I can get a series of links or anything up there. In the meantime, though, hello. Beautiful. In the meantime, though, I'm going to go ahead and sign into GitHub because we will need GitHub for sure. So I'm going to wait to do that. And then I will need an off code. So let's get that super quick. And then let me get my off code. I should have probably done this earlier, but I've been rushing all day. 248. Perfect. Amazing. Very, very cool. And then we're going to go ahead and go to here. We've got our repos and everything. And we will go from here. Yeah, I guess the last time I've streamed was in February. Just taking a look at that. I just saw somebody, on my GitHub page contribute to an open source software for creating homework and test assignments which honestly is really fun. So there you go. Yeah, let's, I guess, look at this one to answer this question here. For context, I follow a couple of people I used to mentor on GitHub, right? And allow, yes. And this obviously allows for me to see a bunch of really cool stuff that they keep doing. So a friend of mine was just contributing to this repo, right? An online problem-solving driven learning system, right? And then they have these lovely documentation here, right? Tells you about what kind of you do, right? Compose your questions into homework and exam sets. Changing question randomization, questions for homework assessments, and auto graders and manual grading. See, I love this in theory, but like it would be helpful for me to have somewhat, but it's just like, investing. that's, yeah, but anyway, stuff like this is really cool, right? Like exploring how people approach different problems. And I think it's actually really, funnily enough, quite related to what we're going to be doing today on our live stream here, mostly because we're going to have the opportunity to really just explore a bunch of stuff related. Oh, as a former educator, this seems like we worth learning as somewhere to take how to use. I'm a current teacher. That's my next project. I teach content. So we're actually going to be doing some EdTech stuff today, building out some fun apps. So you're definitely in the right place. And from a teacher to a teacher. I get it. We get it. Alrighty, but coming back to, I think, our ideas for today and kind of what my goal is. First and foremost, I want to talk a little bit about what I want to build out today and how we're going to go about it. And then second of all, I think I just kind of want to jump in. So I want to, well, actually we'll just jump in straight from here. So let me go back to this. We are going to be creating our own little open source project. And the idea behind this guy, and I'm going to type it out in the description here while I write it. You can see all of my former GHW passion projects as they come about. But I want an automated gradebook tracker with email reminders for missing assignments. Connected to the Canvas API. And I'll explain all of this stuff in a little bit more detail, but kind of the idea behind this is going to be working through this lovely project, right? So I want to build out, it's my first online hackathon. How do you find a team? So Global Hack Week isn't a traditional hackathon in the same way that, you know, like other online hackathons are. We run those, we run other MLH online hackathons, I would say at this point, at least a few times a year. And you can find more information about those on DevPost and the MLH website. But Global Hack Week is a lot more about learning and doing stuff, right? And kind of working with others on cool projects. But generally, the idea behind it is that we want to find a team and contribute by kind of looking either in the Global Hack Week channel on Discord, which if you're not in the Discord, you should totally join in, or by participating in the challenges yourself, right? So if you go to the Global Hack Week website, and I'll just go there in a second, ghw.moch.io, you'll see here kind of the ideas are more so for the challenges when they're linked to DevPost, right? You can see some of the challenges tend to be more about learning things specifically rather than like building towards a specific prize, right? So like Gen AI Week in June, or registering for season launch, or joining the MLH community Discord, right? Following us on Instagram and Twitter and sharing a photo of your setup and creating an open source tool or library, promoting open source software, integrating open source projects, right? Profile readmes or readme challenges and things like that. And so all of that I think is particularly helpful, right? So you can go ahead and do all of these things. And if you want to participate, right, look at most popular or registration-based or partner-based or beginner, so on and so forth. I think those are particularly helpful. Then I think that hopefully answers your question a little bit better, but let me know if it doesn't. MLH Fellowship, I do none of the hiring for the fellowship. I am just a nice little streamer on here. But if you are interested in fellowship, generally the best advice that I've gotten is be passionate about the track that you're applying for, apply early because it's rolling admissions, and be ready, willing, and able to showcase your technical skills. Make sure your coding sample is also really high quality. I'd say those are like the best things you can really do. And recognize that, you know, any program nowadays is more and more competitive. So if it doesn't work out, you can always try again. And that's pretty much it. Alrighty, I do want to kind of really jump into our project here. The next thing that I think I want to do is try to figure out a name for this guy. And so I'm going to open up, as much as I hate doing this, I am going to open up chat. And I am going to ask for coming up with a name here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up here. Help me. Yeah, help me come up with a name for my app idea. This will be, and then we're just going to grab this and we'll see what it can come up with. This will be Enog. Sweet. And we'll go from here. Here's some name ideas. Ooh, I like nudged. Okay, wait. Okay. Wait, chat really came up with this one that I thought was that I thought was punny, which I'm kind of really a fan of. I'm going to own it, which is good. And then we will definitely add a README file. We're going to add a git ignore. And then I don't think we want a specific template yet. At least I haven't decided what our template should be. So maybe we'll just add our git ignore later. And in this case, we're just going to go ahead and use our MIT license. If anyone is curious, Alberto, I think it's Alberto. I'll double check in a second. But we've got a really cool stream coming up by Alberto on, yes, I'm not making that up. This is Thursday. This is Friday. Oh wait, no, this is literally February. I need the open source schedule. Yeah, Alberto is coming up with a stream for making your projects open source today. That is 9 p.m. Eastern time. So it's just a couple hours after mine. But he's going to go ahead and do that, which I think will help. Or which will be cool for generally learning a little bit about how to do open source. And yeah. And then let me go ahead and take care of some stuff in here. And we'll go there in a second. And then all right. I see our next one. Join the stream just now. What is going on? We are going to be starting our lovely project, right? So we're making Nudged, which I'm kind of a big fan of this one. But it's going to be a grade tracker with email reminders for missing assignments and overall grades. Hopefully connected to the Canvas API. That is my goal for this one. I am the other part that you really missed of the stream is that I'm a current K through 12 comp sci teacher. And so I want a tool that makes my life easier. One of the things that is the most frustrating for me right now is like grade checks for students and being asked so many times what my grade is, like what assignments am I missing, what can I do to make it up, and things like that. So I'm looking for some way to make my life easier, honestly, to be completely real with you. And I'm using this Global Hack Week to do it through promoting some open source software and some educational technologies and some other cool stuff. So we're just genuinely starting off our repo. It's going to be public. We'll have a README file. We'll talk a little bit about git ignore templates later. And then we're using our MIT license. I don't need any templates here. And so we're just going to go ahead and click create here. I'm going to close out these two tabs because we won't need it. For now, we have our automated teacher grade tracker with email reminders. And then we will go from there. Let me go ahead and also, while we are here, look for a good OSS project README template. So generally with OSS projects, right, I think it's particularly helpful to see a little bit about what the project is doing and anything like that, right? So I think that is particularly helpful. Let me go ahead and, sorry, it looks like everything is updated. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I'm going and go ahead and grab, but yeah, long story short, we're starting our lovely project. What is the MIT license used for? This is a great question. So the MIT license is, let me actually link to a cool resource that I found on this, open source licenses. Yes. Perfect. So you will see here, right? This is the lovely resource that I recommend. So this is the open source licenses page. And I just went ahead and pasted it in the chat, but this lets you see a lot of the common open source licenses, lets you sort by things that are, you know, like international or non-reusable or special purpose or, you know, popular, strong community and things like that. There you can see kind of what are recommended, you know, things. And then you have the MIT license, right? So this is the license. It explains to you what it is, right? Copyright is the year. Permission is granted free of charge to any person obtaining a copy of this, right? To deal with the software without restriction, including without limitations, the rights to use, copy, modify, merge, publish, distribute, license, and or sell copies of it, right? So long story short, the above copyright notice and this permission notice shall be included in all copies, right? And the software is provided as is. There's no warranties, right? Nothing infringement-wise. If you want, you know, like things like non-reusable, for example, right? Or you can clear a search here, right? You can look for specific licenses, right, that allow you to do that, you know, or kind of talk through specifics. GNU is another relatively popular one. So we kind of talk about, like, you know, it talks about what to do with the license and tries to explain it. Right. It also talks a little bit about open source definitions and also like how there's a good resource too on how to select a license, which I think is helpful. Select. I'm gonna try and like this. Oh yeah. There you go. Choose an open source license. Right. There you go. So it goes through this part and walks you through this, which is another really cool, helpful. I'll go ahead and post this. ChooseLicense.com. We have our next question in here. Are we supposed to recreate what you're doing or can we make our own thing? I'm not sure what the rules are for this. I will say every like person who streams does things a little bit differently. So it's not like there's a hard and fast rule for like, oh, you have to do it this way with me, or like I will do it this way this time, or something like that. I would say, like, just to preface, every stream looks a little different for every person and also for every like live like series. Sometimes we'll do more follow along streams. If you want to create your own version of this project, you are more than welcome to do so, obviously. And, you know, keep growing and keep doing stuff for the purposes of OSS, right? Because this is open source software we're talking about here. I think it'd be really cool once we, you know, set up a repository and get everything ready to go, if people can just contribute to like nudged as in the tool and the software, right? So that way, you know, if you want to make a fork of this, right, or star it or watch it or whatever, you can go ahead and do that. And I'm going to go ahead and post the link to the GitHub in a second. But I think because we're focusing on open source software here, it's my goal for this stream that I'm not the only one contributing here, right? So we'll talk a little bit about how to contribute to open source software, right? Whether we can create pull requests or, you know, create issues and things like that, that I really want to talk about throughout the stream. But generally, I think working through it like that, we can make it like a public almost resource where everybody can contribute, would be really fun. That's my goal. But you know, we'll go from there. And I think this first stream is going to be a lot of like getting everything ready and together and like working through how we want to set it up as a group and kind of almost, you know, an active brainstorming session where I'm telling you like how I set up OSS, why we even use open source software to begin with, and then also, you know, like de facto building out something that I'm personally passionate about. So yeah, the next thing I'm also gonna do that is, I think, gonna be helpful, hopefully, is I'm gonna go ahead and open up a new. This looks I'm doing. This is, yeah. Hold up. I have a section here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and create a page here on my Notion. I'm going to call it May 2025 OSS. And then we'll do in here, I want an icon. I want it to be a computer, potentially, I think. Maybe a teacher. Oh, I'll do teacher. We should totally do teacher. Perfect. And so I'm going to do a couple things. For those of you who are wondering right now, I'm going to go ahead and close out this and I'll show you what I'm doing in a second. I, for every stream, like to have like a public Notion page of resources that I'm going to go ahead and share in just a second. So we will do in here, let's do check-in links. We will also do part 1, part 2, part 3, and now I'll do this with other stuff in it later off stream, so that we're not wasting time on it in here. But I do want to grab the part 1 check-in because we will need that. So we'll do check-in links here. And then I want to, I think, change maybe this header from a 3 to a 2. Okay, perfect. We'll do it into header 2. And then in here, what I also want to do is do a heading 2 where we'll do our repository link. I'll go ahead and paste this right in here. Now that we have created it, and then we will go ahead and do the preview. I like those. Can I say thank you for being so thorough with your explanation and Rex? Obviously. And then you can tell I'm a teacher, right? So I'm trying to approach this in a way that's easy and digestible and understandable for folks, right? So I spent my morning teaching high schoolers today, right? So it gets exciting and for better or for worse, it's nice to have a dedicated audience who wants to be here. Not that my students don't, as much as I adore them. All right, and then we're also gonna do check-in links, heading link, the repository, I think, and then we'll do the repository up there, and then we, I think, can do. I'm wasting too much time on organizing this. I want to do a part 1 summary, and then we'll do some at heading 3 with recommended resources, where we had to a section on a brief intro on licenses for SS and how to select one for your project. Then we did our choosealicense.com. I will do as a URL here, or should we do bookmark? Yeah, we'll do book. I kind of trying to decide how I want to use this one, because we'll turn into mention, right? Okay, perfect. Choose a license, choose an open source license, and then we'll do mention as well. Open source initiative, licenses, perfect. And then our repository lives up here. I think it being our mention here makes sense. Check-in links live here. Part 1 summary, recommended resources, and then let's jump back in. So this actually takes us into what I was doing right before we had our side question, which is totally fine. This is what the purpose of the stream is. But we have kind of the general idea of setting up our repository. And so I am a big fan of, if you cannot tell, kind of seeing the project and kind of setting everything up in a good and, somewhat solid state, right? So I, to start here, have found and used previously this lovely best README template sample project, right? Which is also, funnily enough, in its own way, open source software. So we are going to utilize this open source software to, well, contribute to kind of make our own project. So what we're going to do is grab our lovely file here, and we're going to just go ahead and copy this, and we are going to set it up in our project. So go ahead and copy this over, and then we will paste it into our own README here, right? So this takes that template and allows us to commit it straight on GitHub, opens it up, right? And then shows us all of these lovely parts. So right now, we don't have anything super helpful in here, right? It's generally just blank code. But we can, as time goes on, go ahead and edit this up to be our own section. And then we will go from there. But generally, you can also love what's really cool about this project in general is that you can, see how they're going about working on, whatever they are and kind of focusing on these parts, right? There are many great README templates. Something amazing, right? Use blank readme.md to get started. This is an example of how you give instructions, how you would do things, open issues, right? So they talk about open issues, right? And then kind of go through this. What is the purpose of this template? How can I customize it to fit my project needs, right? Common and extremely useful for clothes, right? And then also shows you the section in here, pull requests and things like that fixes everything and works through, translating READMEs and all of that, right? So we're going to use open source software in here. And, one of the good things is let's check whether we should use this open source software, right? We can go ahead and modify and copy it for any purpose and by any means. So we are good to go to proceed to add it into our project. And so we'll in here do setup resources for our GitHub project. And we'll go ahead and paste in here our README template. Yep. And what I'm going to do in a second is go ahead and paste a link to this specific document in the chat so we can take a look at it. But I'm going to do it as a mention, and then is a template for creating a readme.md file for a brand new project. And then we'll in here also, set up resources for our GitHub project, brief intro and RSS licenses, and is a great introductory resource for how to select an OSS license for your project. And then this is a helpful resource about open source and open source AI and generally, kind of a great hub for open source software. It's a great hub for open source software, which It's gonna go right in the chat in like a second once I finish typing this out. License is a great hub. Is a great hub for open source software information. The licenses page includes specifics on all variety of popular items or popular licenses with searches and filters. Sweet. So I have this lovely link already for this Notion, but I don't want to use that whole link because that's super, super long. So we have a nice way to shorten our links. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in just a second to log in onto the backend here into some magic. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Check that I'm not doing anything. Sweet, this is Emily.link. Yeah, we'll do Emily.link. And we'll do a new link. Oh no folder. I want a new link here. So we'll do this. And then I'm gonna do let's do OSS or nudged resources. We'll do that and we'll paste it in here. FPE GHW. I can totally paste that in there. Cool. We'll copy it here. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that this works first. Looks great. Amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and paste this right in here. So you can go ahead and find our lovely resource doc on Emily.link nudged resources. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. So we'll do this, our home-based link. We'll paste in here. We'll do it as a ticker, add a banner. Ta-da! Beautiful. Now we'll just scroll on the page, and it's also in the chat for those of you who just want to copy it. Amazing, beautiful. Let's close these two guys out and then look at our lovely brand new template. And we're gonna go ahead and make some edits to start, right? Now, what I think would be helpful is, does VS Code allow you to see, like, I'm wondering if it's, because one of the things that annoys me the most about IDE that compiles README with preview. I'm writing a README, MLU, Visual Studio Code. Okay, so VS Code does have a way to preview MD changes. So let's go ahead and try to do that. So I'm going to open up VS Code in here. And should we fork or clone this repo to our local machines? If you would, okay. Anyway, if you would like to, yeah, go right ahead. If you want to work along with me, yeah, you can preview readMD files in VS Code, which is very cool, and I'm excited for it. So let's go and go ahead, and I need to go to the window. I want to close this demo. I don't want to look at it. I'm so rusty. Can I open my editors? No. Okay, help. Not show all commands. I just want my welcome page. There we go, perfect. Okay. I want to clone my Git repository, and I'm going to clone from GitHub. And I will go ahead and grab our lovely GitHub repo. Oh, that's just my face. So let's maybe not do that. We'll go code here, do that. We'll close out your little comment, but that's very cool to know because I actually did not know that. Clone Git repository, click clone from GitHub, and now I can just go ahead and look it up. You can see right in here, shows up. I'm gonna save it to, go ahead and unshare my screen for just a sec because I have no idea what mess of files is in here. Oh, perfect. We'll just set this as a repository destination. I would love to open it, please and thank you. And now that I've opened it, you can kind of see we have two things in here, our licenses and our readme.md, right? So this is my readme file, which is awesome. And then according to this part, I can do control, I'm assuming it's Command Shift V. Perfect. And I would love to do it side by side. Amazing. Awesome. Oh, this is so great. For anyone who's wondering what the shortcut was for that, it was Command Shift K on Mac, Control Shift K on Windows. So there we go. Very, very cool. Oh, I'm happy about that. Anyway, so let's see here. Improved compatibility of back to the top link. This is README top, right? Thanks for checking out the best template. If you have such a suggestion, I'm going to go ahead and remove some of these comments here. And we're going to go ahead and move that here. And then Project Shields, using Markdown reference type, reference links are enclosed in brackets instead of parentheses. So cool. I know, right? It's really cool. The Markdown reference style, links for readability. Reference links are enclosed in brackets. I'm going to, yeah. And then, so markdownguide.com. So if I click on this guy, let's see where it takes me, right? So it tells you, okay, what links look like. Do this, don't do this. Makes sense. Okay. This seems fair. Okay, cool. So it's like using HTML Markdown as well. All right, back in here we go. It really does. It's going to be really cool. And so contributions will be our contribution shield, contributors URL, forks shield, forks URL, stars shield, stars URL, issues shield, issues URL, license shield, license, and LinkedIn shield, license URL. Don't think we need LinkedIn here. And I honestly, stars, and then our project logo, and we'll go from there. So if we go back to our homepage here, right? If we go back to our best README template, you can kind of see, right? Contributors, forks, stars, issues, license, and LinkedIn. If you go into their version, you can see pretty well, right? Contributors. What's the command to preview MD files on Xcode? It's Control plus Shift plus, I think it was V. I just typed it in. There you go. Control plus Shift plus V. And if you're Mac, it's Command instead of Control. All right, so let's go back here. So it should just work automatically. Why is it saying repo not found though? This is why, because it's GitHub username, repo name. Cool. So we want to go ahead and swap this out with this lovely link instead. So let's see, github.com, GitHub username, repo name. So I wonder if we do, if we end up doing a search for this guy, instead we look at this, right? And we search for this, and then we try to replace it. So we're gonna go ahead and do, looks like there's only 3 places where it asks for that replacement. So we're gonna just go ahead and paste it out here, paste, and then paste. And then obviously we also have this extra comma at the end that I do wanna, you know what? With 12 of them though, I do kind of want to see if I can just replace it with this. Perfect. All right, so we ran an automatic replacement. And then how do I refresh it? No. So I wonder if it's not doing anything here. So if I click, for example, view demo, it links to my repository now. It's still showing up though as repo not found, which I wonder if that's just because not everything is set up yet. So anyway, we'll do nudged in here, and then let's go ahead and do our super brief summary, which let me go back to what I had typed out, which I'm starting to lose track of everything. Okay. We'll do here, and then do paste in here. To fix some formatting. is an automated teacher grade tracker of email reminders for missing assignments and overall grades connected to Canvas API and built alongside and built live on the MLH Twitch for GHW May 2025 OSS. Sweet. Explore the docs. We don't have any docs yet, right? And then we have view demo, report bug, and request feature. Then we have table of contents, right, which will be about the project, built with, getting started, prerequisites, installation, usage roadmap, contributing, license, contact, and acknowledgements, right? So here's a blank template, right? Walks you through these. To avoid retyping too much info, go ahead and do a search or replace with the following. Cool. That's actually really helpful. And then built with, in what time you learned all this? Reload may load that stats for badges. True. Hold on. How do the contributors dash URL? Because what does that contributors? Contributors. You're probably right there. Let me go through the best readme template here, right? And then this is .idea. These are badges, network members. Okay. How did the badges work here? I'm gonna go ahead and try to figure that out. Control-Shift-P. No, that's just extensions in here. No, it has nothing to do with that. I think it has to do with like maybe there's something else when you add in here. Right, license shield. It's saying license URL. Right, issues URL. Issues shield. There you go. See, it links it down here. Image.shields. Well, no, these are just images. Style for the badge, so on. All right, so those should be fine. It shouldn't be about that, but it should load the details. So exclamation point contributors, forks, stargazers, issues, project title. Search reload window, maybe from above search. I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're saying, but we'll go ahead and come back to that, I think. Table of contents, we'll skip this. Built with, I actually know what we're going to try to build this app with, which is going to be a struggle for yours truly because it's been a hot second. We are going to try to use React and Next and Mongo maybe, and some Express. So we're going to go ahead and leave it here. Yeah, because this is React URL. It shows up here, right? It's angular.io, svelte.dev, jQuery, right? And then it goes images.shields.io, right? Yeah. img.shields.io. Cool. Badges, documentations, logos. Shields.io. Get started. We're gonna get to use another open source software here, which is kind of hype. At least I'm pretty sure it's open source, right? Yeah, it's Shields. Yeah, there you go. It's concise, consistent, and legible badges in SVG and RAIST format. Right? Backers, sponsors, commit activity, discussions, daily tests, coverage, chat, and so on. So this is really cute, actually, and shows you like all your badges, right? Has all the development open in Gitpod and so on and so forth, and that's really cute. So yeah, actually, this is really cool. So this is also another cool open source software that we're gonna get to use in our open source software. So it's all, it's all spiraling. And then set up resources. mentioned links. And then we're gonna do set up resource for a GitHub project. We're gonna paste this guy in here. We'll do it as a mention. Is a way we're incorporating links. Another OSS tool into our project. Shields is used to display soft logos, project details. All right, sweet. Let's go back to our VS Code here. And I think I'm gonna delete all the stuff that is where I know for a fact we're not using, like React and up to Vue here. I think it looks like it's loading relatively automatically at refresh, because I do have autosave on, which I think is helping. So yeah, it's saying contributor shield, right? It's saying image shield.io. Yeah. Oh, so it's saying, so it's saying contributors is repo not found here. Well, duh. So instead of GitHub username repo name, I need to use my name and my username. This makes so much more sense. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is what I was hoping for. So instead, I also need to replace this part. And that should theoretically change it up here. Perfect. Okay, awesome. Sweet. So now I need to do, I think, so in that case, I want to do a search for GitHub username repo name, right? Like this. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna find, and I want to replace all of those with my name and project name here. And we'll do that. And that should then pull all of these. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. Feeling great about this. So this then does our contribution and so on. And then our project logo, right? And we can, add in here, a to-do or something to add a project logo. Is the plan to use shields primarily to display icons in the README? Like, will shields be helpful for the actual tool you're planning to create? For now, display icons in the README, but if I end up wanting to create this in the Markdown file, so it be. I could see it potentially being helpful. Like I could see myself using shields to try and display information in a way that's easily digestible. We'll find out. Haven't thought that far ahead yet. Explore the docs, cool. I do want to kind of skip the README parts and try to get through them a little bit quicker. And so acknowledgements, back to the top, this makes sense. Project link, right? I don't want to post this in here. We'll go ahead and remove contact, I think, as a category as a whole. So I do want to go ahead and remove this guy. So remove contact. Distributed under the, we'll see how many times project license is mentioned here. Okay. Looks just like probably it's MIT license, right? See the MIT license for more information. And then top contributors, this works, right? Our license, our acknowledgements. Contributions are what make the open source community such an amazing place to learn. Any contributions you make are greatly appreciated. If you have a suggestion that would make this better, please forward this repo and create a pull request. It is also simply open an issue with the tag enhancement. Don't forget to give this project a star. Thanks again. Fork the project, create your feature branch, commit your changes, push to the new branch, and then open a pull request. Perfect. And then open a pull request. I do want to see if I can make like a pull request template as well. Roadmap, see the open issues. So roadmap, feature 1, we'll do project setup for creating OSS software. So we're gonna do, everything from. And then we'll do things like our license, our readme.md, you know, things like that. Yeah. Okay, license, boom, boom. Okay, apparently not. Very fine. Okay, let's continue. Then, you know, readme.md. And then I think I want to spend some time also on the issues template. Right. And then let's see here. Yeah, issues template. Oh, I don't know why I was scrolling on both of these. Cool. And then feature 2 is we'll do GitHub setup here for creating for OSS. I just realized I put OSS software, which we're gonna change that because that's saying open source software, which is annoying. So we'll do a GitHub setup for OSS, license readme.md, issues template for bugs. And then we'll do another issues template for feature requests. And then we'll do feature 2 here is gonna be, I think, app setup. Right, so it's going to be everything from there, and we're not gonna branch this one out super much right now. And then we're gonna do our readme.md as well, or not our readme.md, our email integrations. And then we'll do also, last but not least, our Canvas API integration. We're gonna do boom, boom, Canvas API. And then see the open issues for a list of full proposed issues. Perfect. Back to the top. Roadmap usage. We'll leave this space more to be added. Perfect. And then we'll do our getting installation, right? So we'll do number 1, TBA, and then getting started, prerequisites. We'll also do TBA, right, which just means to be added here. And then we will do our getting started, right? This is an example of how you may, to get, I lost it. To get a local hobby up and running. Here, follow these example steps, right? Built with, Next.js React, back to top. About the project, we'll do, you know, to be a here as well. Right, and then we have our product name screenshot, which I'm going to comment out for now. And then I will also comment out, okay, usage. There's a bunch of blank space that I'm not the biggest fan of in here, right? Because that's at the top. I guess that's just in our IDE here. We're getting started about the project, table of contents. I want to remove the contact page here. We're not using that anymore. View demo, report bug, request feature. Perfect. So you can see here we're going to be creating a bug report and an enhancement feature request readme.md file. And then we have explore the docs, which for now just links to our page. I think I want to comment this one out for now. Oop, not get rid of, just comment. And then I think, considering the amount of space there, let's comment out at least one of these guys. Try that. We'll do just one. We'll do the bottom one here. Cool. So this I think helps, right? This will kind of set up our initial GitHub here, right? So we are going to go ahead and use, I'm going to go ahead and commit these changes. So we'll add them, commit, say, initial readme.md setup, right? We'll go ahead and commit this. And then we can sync changes, right? Which means push and pull from origin main. Go ahead and do that. Right, and now when we go to our github.com, you can go ahead and refresh. You'll see our most recent change was now, and then that includes that. Now I'm seeing one more thing that we left out that I do actually want to comment out, and that is our project logo for now, because we don't have a project logo. And I just realized that I forgot the div align center. So I think it needs to be here, right? That's to comment out just the logo. Maybe the extra div? No, because that just gets rid of everything else. So let me get rid of can I get rid of the break up here? Maybe comment that out too. Cool, that makes more sense. So we're gonna go ahead and say, also add a second commit that says comment out logo code until our logo until logo, come on, logo portion. We'll just do that. Commit, right? For me, it now tells me that there's no stage changes to commit because I forgot to hit the plus. Lets me, push and pull, and then we go from there, right? And now we can see if we refresh the page again, right? Gets rid of that weird link space. But already looks a lot better, which is awesome. And then from there, we can, go ahead and work on the other parts, right? And so one of the best things about the issue templates, right? As you can see, the bug report and the feature request MD here, right? Bug report, describe the bug, steps to reproduce expected behavior, environment, additional context, and then feature request, basic example, motivation, right? So what we can do here is go ahead and actually recreate these in our own repo, right? So we'll do this in VS Code just to keep it consistent. We're going to go ahead and open up a new folder, right? And we'll need to create a .github folder. All right, you'll see it follows the same format here, right? .github. And in here, that creates a new folder for us, right? And then in here, we in another new folder called issue_template, right? So we'll go ahead and do that. Create a new folder, do issue_template. And then in there, now we'll go ahead and create two new files, right? We'll do bug report.md and feature request.md, right? So we'll do that. Go to new file. We'll do bug-request.md. And we'll do another new file called feature.request.md. Also, I'm now realizing it should definitely not be bug request because that makes no sense. So, hello from Ecuador. Happy to see you. We're going to go ahead and rename this guy because that makes no sense. We'll do bug report and feature request. So now when we go in here, if we look for bug, right, we won't do bug report .. We'll do, and then feature request.md here, right? And this allows us to then have these. So I want to go ahead and push these up really quickly to be, go ahead and see if these works. So see if these work, even if they're just blank. So add blank bug report and feature request MD markdown templates. All right, and this time I've saved all my changes, so I can just go ahead and commit, sync those changes up. I'm gonna click OK, don't show again because the part is starting to get annoying, right? And now if we go in here into my repo, you'll see GitHub issue template, right? Pops right in here. Then we have GitHub, right? Issue template. It feels like cheating, pulling down changes after you do all the work. You're totally fine. I mean, at this point, right, we're just kind of doing it all together. If you want to try and recreate it yourself and then, like go from there, like whatever works best for you. is kind of the fun here, right? And then let's see. So this is the actual markdown template, right? So this is the summary, basic sample motivation, and so on and so forth, right? But now what I want to try is try to actually go ahead and report a bug. If I report a bug right now, right, I get a title and a description and in here. But I want to try and see if I can just add in, you know, into my feature request template here, I'm going to put test. And then in here, I'm going to put also a test. All right. And we're going to go ahead and in here, pop both of these in, right? Should load up. We'll just say testing templates. But yeah, it's definitely not cheating. Don't feel like it is. All right. We'll do commit and sync. Back to GitHub we go. Back to our README for now. And then we'll go ahead and say, okay, I want to request a feature. Oh, why did I feel like that didn't work? Because it doesn't have my whole description. Okay. Let's try that. This info, this file is used as a markdown issue template. Well, yes, I know that. Does the same thing show up when I click on mine? Do I need the dash dash dash? That's $1 million question. Let's see if I do. We're gonna try that. So we're gonna try and rename these guys, right? Because we do dash dash dash. We'll do here rename to dash dash dash. Right? And you can see that's actually like, you know, causing a variety of changes in here. And then we will do dash, 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 dash. We will see issue debug attempt number 1. Do a commit. I'm just going to put always for staging for now. All right, sweet. Refresh. All right, so let's figure out, how to add an issues template in GitHub. Perfect. Okay. Oh, duh. I have to actually enable them in settings. Issues, templates, feature request, add template, bug report, propose changes. Okay. Did it update those for me then? Okay. So I should have just done that, instead. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to use this as a great lesson to pull my changes down from the cloud. And now you'll see we actually have this bug report, right? And then this bug report, which is obviously my little garbagey bug reports. It had nothing to do with the dashes. So we're going to go ahead and undo the dashes here. I'm going to undo the dashes here. And we're going to delete these two files, at least for now. So we're going to delete this file. We're also going to delete this file. But what I want to do, I think, is kind of study up this bug report template, the one recommended by GitHub and the feature request, recommended by everybody else, right? And kind of see what the differences are and which one we like better. So within reason, we're not going to spend too much time on it, just because, So title, name, feature request, title, labels, and assignees. Okay. So it's in here is your feature request related to a problem? Let's do summary. Describe alternatives you've considered. Describe the solution you'd like. alternatives you've considered, basic example, and motivation. I think I like most of this, but right? So summary, brief explanation of the feature, right? Why are we doing this? What is the expected outcome, right? And then I think let's do like almost, we'll do it this way, right? We'll do like, if your feature request is related to a problem, include a clear and concise description of what the problem is, right? So motivation, why are we doing this? And what are the use cases? Why is it doing that weird indentation? Okay, we're gonna close out this guy for now because we don't need that. And then let's see here, right? So why are we doing this? What use cases does it support? All right, so we'll do boom, boom. Okay. Maybe just like a... All right, maybe something like this, right? And then describe the solution you like, a clear and concise description of what you want to happen, right? Why is this formatting so weird? Oh, I get it. It's like almost formatting with like different format than theirs. So I do a motivation, right? Describe the solution you'd like. Okay. I mean, a clear, concise description of what you want to happen, right? And then well, we'll cut this clear, concise description. What you want to happen. Why are we doing this? What use cases does it support? What is the expected outcome? If your request is related to a problem, include a description of what the problem is. Sweet. And then alternatives, we'll do that, right? So, and alternatives, any alternative solutions or features you've considered, right? We'll do boom, boom here. And then finally, last but certainly not least, dash dash additional context. Add any additional context or see screenshots about the feature request. All right, sweet. I think this makes much more sense, right? So this is a good, I think, bug or feature request, right? I think for bugs, it is much more exciting to include some other things in here. And then that pops into our bug request in here. I don't need this guy now. So I need issue template, bug report. Bug report about create a bug report, labels bug. Okay, let's take a look at bug report here, right? So describe the bug, a clear, describe, concise description of what the bug is. Cool. I do like, I think, this format better, right? Like, let's almost do like a clear and concise description of what the bug is. Cool, right? Then we'll do summary. Then we do, I think, here to reproduce, steps to reproduce the behavior. Right, go on, click on, scroll down to see error, and then expected behavior, a clear and concise description of what you expect to happen. I mean, yes. Screenshots. if applicable, add screenshots to explain your problem. We'll do I think environment. Please complete the following information, right? And then we'll do, I think, a subsection that's almost, desktop. And then we'll do mobile. Or we could do PC mobile. I think we could just do device, and I don't think specify. So device, OS, browser version, and then additional context. Any other details you think may affect? Sweet. We'll do that, and then additional context. And then finally, we'll do additional context and add any additional context about the problem here. Perfect. This looks great so far. All right, awesome. Add any additional context about the problem here. Awesome. And we'll go ahead and push up, I think, all of these changes and say finish bug report and feature request templates. So we'll go ahead and do this, commit and sync, and then let's try these out, right? So let's go ahead and try out to create an issue. I want to create a new issue, to create a feature request, and perfect, yay. Add a title, add a feature request and bug report template, right? And I'll create, and then I will say close issue, close as completed, to show you what that works like. Amazing, sweet. So I think what would be helpful now, right? Because we have really this lovely setup. I think there's a couple of things we can do for the remainder of this stream, right? We talked about shields here, our best README template, our open source initiative, and then I'm also going to link how to configure issue templates for your repository. Bless me. Let's see here. How are we doing on time? It's 5:14. We've got time. Sweet. We'll do a mention. Shows how to add issue templates to a new GitHub repository. Awesome. So I think there's a couple of things that we could do here. I'm going to close out of these guys because we don't really need them right now. Same with this, right? And then we go from here. So we have our issue templates, our license, and our README. Now we have our demos, our report bugs, our request features. Let's check if this works. Oh, I just realized it didn't. It still links to the blank one. Let's try that. Let's try to fix that. I guess, we could write a sample issue for our project, right? Create a report for help us improve. Readme.md links for report bug and request. These do not use issue template. And then let's go ahead and summarize this. readme.md links in GitHub to the, we'll do put in quotes, report bug and request feature section of the README near the top of the README. Start an issue/feature correctly, but they do not use the template created. To reproduce steps, go to, right? So then you go to nudged. Click on report bug or request feature in readme.md. Don't you scroll down, see error. Expected behavior template should, I think you have to click use templates and default is blank. Close and, you know what, let's find out. Template should appear when using the links in readme.md. Environment, I guess we'll do Mac OS, Sonoma. What version is my computer even on? Oh, this Mac, let's find out. Oh, it's Sequoia 15.4.1. Sequoia. If I can spell Sequoia 15.4.1. Browser. Chrome. And then let's see what my Chrome version is. Well, apparently I need to update, so we'll find out. I'm on version 135.0 that. Cool. Any other details you think may affect? Will not. Additional context. Using the issues template to track an issue with the issues template feels a little meta. Sweet. Let's create this guy. And then we have a bug report in here, right? So you can go ahead and assign it and try to reproduce it and so on and so forth. Let's go ahead and check out what our lovely suggestion is here. So we have our issues, our issue templates, right? Preview and edit though. This is our template, right? Or, because we have our close preview. But this doesn't seem to match my template though. So why is that? This file feature lives in, but it doesn't though. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not where it is. It does live there, but it doesn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and so you can customize the issue template chooser that this is video offering a configure handle file. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, cool, I guess. I mean, that's fun. But creating an issues template. Okay, issue bug report. Okay. Let's try to do this in the actual GitHub repo. Then, so we'll go ahead and do settings, issues, bug report, edit. We'll copy our bug report from here that we wrote out so lovingly. And then we will do issue default title, do bug report, and then we will do, I just realized that I want it to be, and then I want to add a label that says bug. And then I want to go ahead and preview and edit this one. Right, so it did actually kind of save. So I want to delete maybe those extra blank space, maybe the top and the bottom here. And then let's preview and edit this guy. We're using tags instead of MD links. It's not working as intended. That shouldn't affect it though. Like I'm looking at theirs right now, right? And I'm not seeing why that is. Like, so why is this? Did I not save my hard work on this guy? I'm like, what happened? Bug report.md, right? Or because we just worked on that part, right? Hold on, let me go back here. Repos nudged. Issue template. Feature request. No, I think this makes sense, right? Yeah. So, alternatives, additional context, issue default title. Want it to be feature request, and then labels, enhancement, and then let's try to compose these changes. Okay. Let's update issue template, commit changes. But okay, choose a different template. Okay, bug report. Okay, hold on. Yeah, I see it. Okay, so it looks like we have to like force it to choose a template for me here. So I wonder if I go to readme.md here, I go ahead and okay, so I think I want to copy this. No? Like this link specifically in here. And I think that changed something. It looks like it did. I'm going to go ahead and revert my changes on this feature request MD. Also, I just realized that before we do anything, let's definitely pull. Sweet. And then in here, right, this does our feature request. I want to do bug report. It looks like there was some error in here. Like, I think it might be with the and labels enhancement here was the issue. Because now that I think they might have changed how this is done, right, with the labels here. So let's go ahead and cancel this. Let's try updating links in readme.md. Commit this guy. Sync code. And let's refresh. Ding, ding, ding. Except I flipped them. So let's unflip them. We'll do, this will be request feature. Then this will be report bug. Then this will move here because I want to move that up here. Then I want to do this commented out, Report bug, request feature, report bug. Hold on. Report feature, request, report. Yeah, I want it to be in that order, please. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Cool. Then report bug, request feature, right? Yes. Perfect. Okay, amazing. We got it. Beautiful. Sweet. Also, I'm just realizing that, no, it does look good, right? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. Sweet. Let's do updated links, order, commented out demo. Sweet. Let's commit this guy, sync this up, and I'm feeling a lot better. Amazing. Let's close our first issue, shall we? Ruby.nd links did not use template. Let's add a comment on stream. I went ahead and placed the links in the readme.md files. The issue was caused by the template links, including let me get more comfortable. I'm like being fidgety now. Replace the link in the readme.md files. The issue was caused by the template links, including the enhancement /bug label. It appears that GitHub changed the way these work sometime in between the creation of the template and today. Close of comment, and we've closed our first bug. Amazing. So we've closed our first bug, and we've done our first feature request as well, which is awesome. So now if we go in here, right, we can see, contributors, fork, stars, issues, license, and MIT. So what you want to do to, create features is I am obviously, I was trying to do a relatively okay job of, doing all of these things. I'm just trying to, contributors, forks, stars, issues, license. I don't need LinkedIn. Delete that. Cool. Anyway, I'm gonna do TPA for acknowledgements. We'll do small readme cleanup. This is issues or acknowledgements. And markdown links removed. All right, sweet. Commit, sync. Perfect. All right, sweet. So we've got a ton of different stuff that we've talked about today, but honestly, it was really productive overall, right? We came up with, and I just realized that there's a typo in our title. Second thing. Nudged. That. Please. Perfect. Update typo in title. Commit. Sync. Cool. And then nudged, right? TBA. All of these are TBA still. Fork the project, right? We'll go ahead and add on to this. We've got forks and stars and all of that. Our issue template, our README, and our license. What I think is the next thing that I really do want to do today, and I don't know that we're going to have fully the time, but generally it's always now for good to set up like a new branch. So if you look at our contributing guidelines, right, you have to fork the project, create your feature branch, right, get checkout-b, amazing feature, commit your changes, get commit-m, add something to the feature, push the branch, get push origin, right, feature, amazing feature, and then open a pull request. So let me show how I would create a pull request, right, using this. So I do not need to create a fork because I'm the owner of this repository, right? So I am the main person, but so I automatically have done step 1. Step 2 is create my own feature branch, right? So if I go here and I could do, branch, create branch, for example, right? Or I could use terminal in here, right? Do new terminal and do git checkout -b, right? And then let's do issue template or not issue, pull request example. We'll do that, right? And now I've switched to a new branch called pull request example. When I go in here, I can make some changes and do, hello, neighbor. And do, commit your changes, right? So as an example, geez, he's stomping up there. Nudged is an automated teacher grade tracker with email reminders for missing assignments and overall grades. If custom, right, we'll do custom. Well, we'll do as an example, we're going to edit this description. So let's do it. Nudged is, let's see. I don't want to waste our time trying to be wordsmiths here. So I'm going to let AI be the wordsmith for now. I'm sorry to any of my English teachers for doing this, but here we are. Help me create a more professional description of my project than the one written below. Format it using Markdown, and it should be included in the summary or in the about the project section of my readme.md file on GitHub. Sweet. Cool. All right, we'll do, cool. So about the project, first of all, I don't like how about the project is capitalized here. Now that I'm looking at it, where is it? Align centered, nudge, table of contents, report bugs. Where is that? Where's that in code? About the project. Cool. Let's change that. Right. So then about the project in here is to be added. So what I want to do is automated grade monitoring. So we'll do, here we'll do automated grade monitoring and student reminders powered by the Campus API. We'll do this. And then about the project here, they're saying that this will be description. Yeah, so then in here, right, this is where it did this summary, right? So we'll do this, right? Nudged is an open source automated grade tracking system designed to support educators by streamlining student progress monitoring. built with integration of Canvas LMS API, Nudge automatically identifies missing assignments and grade thresholds, and then sends personalized email reminders to students. This project was developed live on the MLH Twitch channel. On the MLH Twitch. The MLH is a part of Global Hack Week open source 2025. We'll do this. Nudge aims to reduce administrative overhead for teachers while encouraging timely student engagement through gentle, frequent. I'm going to change it from gentle reminders to frequent accountability. Ability. Improving classroom management and student teacher. What else we got in here? Yeah. Teacher relationships. Awesome, right? Then this was developed live on the MLH Twitch. At the top here. Awesome. I'm going to comment these guys out for now. And then I'm going to commit and stage changes. Example, commit to a branch, making lots of readme.md improvements. I'm gonna go ahead and commit, publish. Right, and now I will go to make a pull request. I'll compare and pull request here. I'm gonna create a new pull request. And then create a pull request. And then, ooh, can I make a pull request? Okay, cool. I want to make a pull request template then. Let's see, pull request template. So sweet. Okay, so you can also add a pull request template. So we'll totally be adding that. So example, commit to a branch, making lots of README improvements. This is our initial test commit. It showed us the power of adding pull request template too. So that is great. Not directly supporting any issue, any bug or feature request. All right, so we create pull request, right? So in this case, we're checking for our ability to merge automatically. There is no conflicts, no secrets yet, so I can go ahead and merge this pull request. And I will merge that, so I can go ahead and delete the branch. And we will see our first example of a pull request, right? So now if we go into pull requests, we can see closed, right? And you can go ahead and look at this and go through that. So now I actually do want to use our lovely issues template to request a feature. And in here, we'll put feature request. Add a PR template. A PR template should be added for this project. Why are we doing this? Since we are promoting the very best OSS practices, plus trying to make an awesome project. This allows for anyone to more easily contribute. What use case does it support? What is the expected outcome? This should help. Yeah, okay, I don't think that this is anything else here, right? Alternatives, none. asking people to follow a template and then not giving them one, I suppose. Any additional context? Yay, issue practice on stream. Okay, we'll create this. Amazing. I'm going to assign it to myself. And then from here, oh, I want to learn a little bit more about like project and milestone stuff, but for now, we're not going to worry about it. I'm going to go to creating a pull request here. And since I am once again using a nice little resource, I'm going to add it to here as a mention and do shows how to add a PR template to a new GitHub repository. Sweet, and then mention links, a brief intro on licenses, set up resources, and then let's do another section here called helpful tips, or we'll do helpful tips here. We'll do VS Code allows for you to see edits of your readme.md in real time by using command plus shift plus V. I'm going to remove the readme.md links in here because it's starting to annoy me. Thank you. So remove link by using command shift V, and then the side by side view to with command shift V. Cool. And then in here, the issue template, of course, and then how to add a pull request template. So on GitHub, navigate to the main page of the repository. Okay. Above the list of files, create new file. Okay, so the repository's root directory, to make distro file in a hidden directory, name the pull request GitHub pull request template MD. Okay, so it should live inside GitHub here. Issue template. I'm going to add a new file. Okay, so we should have another folder called a pull request. We should do this in VS Code. I don't know why we're doing it in the page. We'll do this in VS Code because that's the way I do it. So it's like folder, pull request templates, please and thank you. And then in here, then we do new file. Pull underscore request. Empty. Okay, can I see? Okay, so they're saying like, what is a good example of a pull request template? Well, that's a great question. I wonder. Okay, this is the preview of pull request.md. This is bug report. This is README, right? So let me look. Let's try and find a good pull request template. Check the chat. Yay, issue practice. I know, right? We're getting so much practice in. Pull request template on GitHub. GitHub pull request template. Can I have a GitHub use pull request template? So this lovely resource has PR templates in here. Checklist for open source PR templates. Checklist and detailed description. Open source to-do list. Cool. So let's try with the basics. So we're going to go into here and paste this guy in. So this is describe your changes. And then we'll do from the issue template, we want to kind of follow the same vibe. A clear and concise description of what the PR includes. Right, then issue ticket number and link. We'll do summary, then issue. Provide the issue number and link before for this PR. If issue or if an issue, right? Is that what they're called? What they're called? Yeah. If an issue does not exist for this PR, please first make an issue. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull from readme.md here. Bug report and request feature. Right, sweet. So report bug or request feature. Awesome. Issue number and link. Using one of the two buttons below. Well, let's do one of the two links. The options below tends to be the most mellow, right? Report bug and request feature. Then we'll do in here, we're going to go ahead and post, look at this guy. Mention GitHub is a template for creating a high quality GitHub issues template. Okay, awesome. And then here, I think I'm actually, one of the things that I really want to do is almost create a repository for like all of the things that I am doing, not like nudge specific, but just like almost like a GitHub starter pack, like GitHub OSS starter pack that I think I'm going to link in our Notion here. That'll be like, you know, helpful for anybody that's like starting to do their project, or even if it's like you're doing it on your own, right? You have now a great README file, a great issue template, you know, a great like start to your project, frankly. So I think that will be honestly really, really helpful. So we'll do that. I'll try to do that off stream. And then let's go back through that axolotl template in here that I've got. I think I want to, you know, maybe try and make some more room here so we don't have to go back and forth between tabs. And then, yeah, this should just work. All right, pull request. Oh, you know, I need to bring this, which is fine because I haven't pushed it yet. Template, right, pull request template MD, perfect. And then we'll go in here. Luckily for me, there's nobody on immediately after me, but I'm going to try and wrap up in the next 9 minutes just to make sure that I get some rest too. And then let's do, right, summary, issue, And then we'll do checklist. At the end here. Type of change. How has this been tested? And then issue. All right, please describe the tests that you ran. To verify your changes, provide instructions so we can reproduce. Please also list any relevant details to that. Right, then we have our test configuration. And why don't we need that? Our checklist. Let's see here. Right. We'll do my code follows the SKY guidelines for this project. If performed. Performed a self-review of my code. I've commented my code. I've made corresponding changes. My change I've added tests. Existing units has passed locally. Changes have been merged and published in downstream modules. Sweet. Pull requests for external contributions. And then I'm also going to go ahead and add in here. I feel like this does not work. Just like do X. Is that what you do? I guess. I have checked. There are no other open PRs. Oh, you can link to PRs. Pull requests. And then we'll do requests. So copy this link. Boom, boom, boom. Yes. For this change. Check there are no other pull requests for this update. My full code follows this guidelines of this project. I perform self-review of my code. I've commented my code in particular student areas. Let's see. So maybe have you followed the guidelines? Maybe instead of the checklist, we'll do so we'll need a contributing document is what I'm saying. I followed the guidelines in contributing document. I followed all guidelines in contributing .md. For now, we'll do, whatever. You know what? For now, we'll do the basic one. I have performed a self-review of my code. All right, sweet. Issue, and then we'll remove the how has this been tested. Checklist, perfect. Let's go ahead and push this up. Change, commit, adding PR template, commit, sync, amazing. I'm gonna find it. What? I didn't swap branches. Branch. Okay, hold on. I just realized that I did not do that. So let's do, hold up. Branch, create branch from. Okay. I'm gonna copy this just in case. Branch, create branch from. Right? Yeah. Let's do that, sure. We'll do feature / PR template. All right, sweet. Go ahead and publish this branch. Okay, good. There we go. Now it's committed. So now I think I can create a PR, compare and pull request, adding PR template. Go ahead and do this. Right. Adding a PR template, issue. This guy, right? Perfect. Checklist. I performed a self-review of my code. Create a PR. Amazing. Merge PR. Oh, no, I don't need to look at Good Guardian right now. Merge PR. Adding PR template. Delete the branch. Let's swap branches here to main. Branch. Branch from main. Actually, just set here. Let me do here. Terminal, with branch, main, get checkout main, right? Don't get checkout main. Perfect. All right, sweet. So I swapped over to this one here. I can say that I added this. So now if I attempt to start a PR, I have no way to check it, so I'm not going to close this issue yet, just because, well, I haven't actually verified it yet, so I don't want to do that because that seems, not correct. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and thank everybody super duper much for coming to my stream. This was really fun. I'm going to do one last plug of our resource link, right? So you can go ahead and check it out at, looks like HTTPS, boom, mlh.link/nudged-resources. So this is everything that you will need for the next stream. On that note, thank you all so much for watching. It was fun to hang out. We had a really good crowd. I think lots of people hopefully got something out of this one. And I'm so excited to see you Sunday, same time, for part 2. And then we'll do same part 2 Sunday, part 3 Monday, part 4 Tuesday, all at the same time, 5 to 7 Eastern Standard. All right, everybody. I'm excited to see you all in 48 hours, or 44, 46 hours, I guess. I'm glad you all got a bunch out of it, and I will see you all in a short little while. Bye.